how to stop being a people pleaser. How to stop being a people pleaser. One of the major reasons why most of you will never become the successful person God originally created you to be is because you are a people pleaser. So your whole life is built around pleasing people. So you constantly make decisions that doesn't align with who you are because you are busy pleasing others. To stop being a people pleaser, you must first have a mind of your own. Having a mind of your own is when you are able to think and when you are able to act based on your own understanding of the situation and yourself, not because of what others are saying. That is having a mind of your own, right? So to stop being a people pleaser, you must first have a mind of your own. To have a mind of your own, there are three main things you have to focus on in life. When you are able to focus on these three main things and you build it, the first thing is it is going to help you stop being a people pleaser. It's going to boost your confidence in yourself. It's going to make you very happy with yourself and your life. Let's get into it. I like using the Bible. So if you don't like using the Bible, if you don't like the Bible stories, my page is not for you. Daniel chapter 6. Daniel in the lion's den, you already know it. Then Darius was the king. He loved Daniel. If you read the whole story, at the point in Darius' time, he wanted to make Daniel the overall boss of the land. He wanted to put Daniel in charge of everything on the land. Now see, then he appointed 120 people, let me say 120 governors, to oversee the day-to-day activities on the land, right? Then from this 120 governors, he appointed 4 people. 4. So these 4 people were the head of the 120 that has been appointed. So every news and every decisions in the country, the 120 will take. Then they will send a report to the 4. Then the 4 will now send a report to the king, who is the number 1. Right? So out of these 4 top officials, Daniel was one of them. He worshipped the Israelite God. People didn't like him. The 120 didn't like him because they saw that King Darius loved Daniel too much. Daniel was a foreigner. Why does the king like him so much? Daniel, no, we have to bring Daniel down. And they decided to find something against Daniel and bring him down. That was the mission. But the king loved Daniel. There was no way you could turn the king against Daniel, right? So listen to what they did. The only way to bring this guy down is we see that he prays a lot. He prays to this foreign god that we don't worship. So let's make a rule and trap him. For the next 30 days, anybody who prays to any other god, apart from the gods we have, will be put into the lion's den. So it was a plan they took. And they did that and they went to the king. And the king signed. And the king signed. Immediately the king signed. The following days, they found Daniel guilty. And Daniel was supposed to be killed. Because the king loved Daniel, he couldn't sleep that night. He couldn't eat the whole night until the following day. He couldn't sleep. He cried. Why? He did something he didn't want to do. Why did he do it? Even though that's not what he wanted to do. 3 things. Now pay attention here. Verse 7. The royal ministers, prefects, satraps, advisors, and governors have all agreed that the king should issue an edict and enforce the decree that anyone who prays to any other god or human being during the next 30 days, except to you, your majesty, shall be thrown into the lion's den. Because the people knew that there was no way the king would allow Daniel to be in trouble, they had to do something to the king for the king to do what he doesn't want to do to Daniel. And they succeeded. You know what they did? They changed the identity of the king. They made the king believe in a false identity. I pray you get this. They said, King, we have all agreed. We want you to sign this document and agree that anybody who prays to any other god except to you, the king, except to you, the king. But the king is not God. In the entire history of the Babylonians, there was nowhere they were praying to kings. There was nowhere they were praying to human beings. You only pray to gods or the Almighty God. You don't pray to human beings. But in their new deal, they brought the king and gods into the same conversation. They made the king believe that he is in the same level as God. That was the only way they were able to get him to do what he didn't want to do. Because now he wasn't thinking as a human being. He was thinking in his false identity they've given him as a god. Do you understand? So when they succeeded in making him believe in something he is not, he did something he didn't want to do. Immediately the king accepted that false identity. He signed something he didn't want to sign originally. He put Daniel in a position where he didn't want Daniel to be originally. There are so many of you who have accepted false identities. And so all your decisions and your actions are going against you. You went to school, it is maths that you didn't pass. It is English that you didn't pass. And because of this too, they said you are an average student, you are a failure. It is your mother who doesn't have money. And because of this, they said you are a poor boy, even though you are now starting life. You just got out from school, you are now starting life. They say you are a poor boy. So you've taken that identity upon yourself as a poor man or a poor girl who is also an average student. And because of this false identity you have in your mind, that is what is dictating your decisions in life. Can't you see? So when you want to approach somebody, you would see yourself as a low-level person. You don't have anything, a poor person. So it kills your confidence. It gives you low self-esteem. And because you see yourself low, every decision you take in life is coming from that sense of belief. So you can't approach the people that you want to approach. Most of the jobs you have writing applications to go for, they are not what you want. But because you see yourself as a failure, because you see yourself as a low-level person, because you come from a poor background, you have accepted that false identity. And that is what is dictating your life. So you do all these things that you do, but when you close and come home, you cry because the life you are living is not what you want. That's not who you are. After the king sentenced Daniel to go to that prison for the lions to devour him, the king went back crying because what he did is not something he really wanted to do. If you don't define who you are and know your identity, the identity society gives you, you won't like it. To stop pleasing people first is to have a strong identity of yourself. Know who you are, know what you have, and know what you want in life. I've already talked about all these things in my page. The second thing you need to overcome if you want to stop pleasing people. You see, in the verse 7, when the people came, they said, the royal ministers, the prefects, the satraps, the advisors, and the governors have all agreed. All of us have already agreed. The prefects have already agreed. The governors have already agreed. In fact, everybody in this group have already agreed except you. So the king felt compelled. If the governors have agreed, if the prefects have agreed, if the satraps have agreed, if everybody else agreed, okay, then let me also agree. It is called social pressure. When you want to do something because everyone is doing it. How many times have you done things that originally you didn't want to do? How many times have you attended programs you didn't really want to attend? How many times have you bought things you didn't really want to buy? How many times have you said something, did something, or enrolled in something that originally you didn't want to do that, but because so many people were doing it? To stop pleasing people, the second thing you must overcome is social pressure. The ability to say yes when everybody is saying no. The ability to say no when everybody is saying yes. You must learn to stand alone. Learning to stand alone is you learning to be confident in yourself that regardless of whatever, if I'm going left, I believe in myself that I will make it through left. And that comes from confidence. Confidence is born from knowing your identity. So to stop living a life of pleasing people, you must overcome social pressure. Overcome social pressure. The third thing you must focus on is your position in life. When the people came, they were talking to the king. 120 people had an agreement to bring Daniel down. Only the king loved Daniel. Everybody else hated him. So the king's position was threatened. They clearly said, we have all agreed to make this document a law. If you look at the power play then, in those times, you know that his throne was at stake. Everybody has agreed to do this. And only you, the king, you say you won't agree. It means your throne is at stake. You can be killed. You can be overthrown overnight. So the king also agreed to what they were saying, partly because of his throne. You can only stop being a people pleaser when your position in life is not in the hands of another human being. When what you eat, what you wear, where you sleep, the way you live your life is not in the hands of another human being. Because so long as people control what you eat, so long as people give you salary, so long as people give you a place to sleep, so long as people do so many important life things for you, they will always control how you behave. You won't have a mind of your own. So to stop being a people pleaser, you must make conscious efforts to build your life to a point where you don't need to say yes because others are also saying it. A lot of people are stealing in their jobs. They are cutting corners in their job. They are lying in their job. Not because they are liars. Not because they are thieves. They want to steal. No. They just have to comply because if they don't do that, they will lose their job. So they are doing that to please the others, not because that's what they want to do. How long is this thing going to continue? That's my question for you. If you don't start building your life to a level where you can have full control of your position in life, you can never have a mind of your own. And that means you can never stop living your life to please people. And as long as you live your life to please people, you always go home and cry because your life is built around pleasing people. So the three main things you have to focus on: don't agree to the false identity society has given you. Have your own identity. Second, overcome social pressure. Then third, own your position in life. This is the only way you can have control of your own mind. If you don't want to live a life of pleasing people instead of pleasing yourself, this is what I came to tell you.